Hey everybody, welcome back to That Car Life. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, today we're going to show you guys how to cut and polish on my wife's 2019 Navarro Blue Q8. And that's a metallic blue paint, and it has got a ton of swirl marks in it. We got it used. It had like 55,000 miles on it. Whoever had it before just terribly neglected the paint. Let's kind of go over some of the tools that you're going to need for this project. You're going to need a lot of towels, okay? I buy these that have no edge on them. They're a little bit more expensive, but the other thing that you're going to need is a polishing machine. I got this Orbital one from Adams Polishes, and it's got a two-stage switch to where you can just kick it on a little bit, or you can kick it all the way on. You're going to want something that will kick all the way on because you don't want to have your hand on that trigger forever. Okay. Another really helpful tool is an incredibly bright light, which I didn't think I had. And most people probably don't have one this bright. I'm just going to say it. I stole this off of my personal protection firearm, and it's because it is incredibly, incredibly bright. So what is it? Why am I using it? You see all those swirl marks? Yeah, you can't see that unless you have the car in the sun, and you don't want to polish in the sun because that is, it's just not conducive. What am I trying to say? The compound gets too hot too fast, and it just kind of melts. So you don't get the full effect of it that you want. So I already did the hood. Remember, this car's got 50-some thousand miles on it. I did this fender, and you can see a couple of swirl marks. They're there, but it's not horrible, okay? So you can definitely see that it's there, but if I travel just over to here, you can see the difference. So having a super bright flashlight, and if you don't think you have one, check your safe at home. You might have one attached to a firearm that you can use. The next thing that we're going to have is you need polishing compound. And for this, I'm skipping a step here. This, you need a clay bar, and you need lubricant to be able to put this on there. So I'll kind of try and show how I'm doing this. I'm by myself, so I'm going to have a hard time physically showing what I'm doing. I'll see if my wife can video some of this. But we also have two different kinds of pads on the polisher. So we've got, this is for polishing. This pad is for cutting. This is your polish. Okay, and this is your compound. That's going to remove the swirl marks. But, you know, there's a couple things to keep in mind here. You don't want to stay in one spot for too long. You don't want to burn through the paint, which is why on the front of the car, I didn't go too far with it because I didn't want to burn through anywhere. And so I'm making sure that we do that throughout here. So I'm not going to go crazy with it. Like I said, this is a used car. It's not brand new. So I don't have a paint gauge, so I don't know the exact thickness of the paint. But I do have a lot of experience cutting and polishing on cars. And so I do have a general idea of how far I can go. And the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you keep the machine moving at all times. Don't sit in one spot for very long at all. Now, the Orbital machine that we're using is different than what I'm used to. So the old school way is just a wool pad on a polishing machine that just spins one direction. The Orbital kind of does this. It kind of goes back and forth. When it's constantly spinning and you catch an edge like here, you burn through it in just a split second. It takes almost no time. So for a novice or at home, definitely use a random Orbital polisher. Do not try and use a professional polishing machine. It's just leave that to the pros. It's just too risky to burn through your paint. And you'll get a really good result. It'll just take a little bit longer. What was the process here? Well, we know that we're polishing this paint, and so I washed it a couple of days ago. I'm doing this panel by panel because I don't have time to sit out here for 25 hours and do this. So I'm just taking a few hours a day to do a door and the hood and whatnot. So I washed the car, and then I just use glass cleaner. So the reason is, I know it's harsh, but it will remove the wax and whatnot that's on the car if there was any. I want to get right down to the actual paint surface. So I spray it liberally, and then I wipe it off, and then I'm going to clay bar from there, and then I'm going to clean it again and wipe it off, and then I start with the compound, and then you wipe that off. When you think you've got it, you check it with your light, okay? And then once you get to that level, you wipe that off, and then you start with the polish, and then you wipe that off, okay? Once you're satisfied with the level of sheen on the car, then you can go ahead and use the prep spray, which is basically water, distilled water and isopropyl alcohol, and then you can put the ceramic coat on top of it after that. The ceramic coating takes literally the door, it's like 5 minutes. So let me turn the camera around. Where do I start? Is it snake oil? No, it's not. The ceramic coating works, but these guys that want to charge you $2,500 to paint protect a car, they're full of crap, okay? If they're taking a brand new car, they're likely not even polishing it. And because I worked in body shops over the years, I refuse to pay someone $2,000-$3,000 to do something that I know how to do, and it's not rocket science. This is not that hard to do. It just takes a lot of elbow grease if you've got a rough car, okay? So I figured that to ceramic coat this car, it's not the ceramic coating that you're paying for. You're paying for that cut and polish to get the paint back to like new condition. So if you're taking your car to someone that's a professional and they say it's going to be $3,000 and the car is brand new, they're full of crap because they don't have to hardly do anything. They can just literally ceramic coat the car and be done with it. They don't really have to do much polishing at all. They have to prep the surface for it and clean it, but that takes no time at all. So the margins on this stuff, when you're paying $150 to maybe $200 for a bottle of fluid that will do like 4 cars, yeah, they're ripping you off. I mean, or they've just done a very, very good job of making you think that you're getting this huge value for your money. You're getting a huge value if your car looks like a turd like this one, because they're going to have to spend 25 hours or more, 30 hours to get it right. Now you're going to spend $3,000. So just use some common sense. If your car is brand new, you shouldn't be paying more than $1,000 at the most to ceramic coat your car. I know you professional guys are going to hate me for outing you on that, but that's just the truth. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they say Ceramic Pro is $400 for a bottle. So what? You can do 4 cars with it. So you got $50. You got, or okay, $100. You got $100, and you're going to make $900. You've got some consumables. Let's say $50. So in a day's work, you're going to make $850. You're a jerk. Sorry. That's just calling it how it is. I'm using some of this as a lubricant when I clay bar. You can see I've already sprayed some on here, but all you're doing is you're taking some of the clay and you're just going to move it back and forth. You're going to feel the contaminants in the paint. It's going to feel like you're rubbing on a little bit of sandpaper, and then all of a sudden it'll glide smooth. So what you want to do is use like a very light pressure. I'm barely pushing on this. And what you're going to do is you're going to go back and forth like this. Or you can do this too, because we're polishing this, remember. So any kind of swirl marks that you add to this at this point, you're taking back out with the polisher. Right now, you're trying to pull like little bits of sand and crap out of this. And now it glides nice and smooth. I can feel it. And then if it gets dirty like that, fold it over and just keep folding it. Trying to do this with one hand here until you get to a clean surface. Now you just use light pressure again and it will flatten to the surface. You can see very quickly flattened out. That's what you're doing. Stay tuned. So I went through a good bit of clay bar just on the one door. It was really filthy, and you can see the residue that's left behind. So I set the clay bar down. Don't set it on anything dirty. Take my glass cleaner, spray this liberally so you got good lubrication. And then we're gonna take one of our nice cloths that's clean, that we know it's clean, and we're gonna start to very lightly just pull that cleanser off the top layer so that we leave the residual paint clean, free of contaminants, because when you polish, if you even have a tiny grain of sand in there, you're gonna polish swirl marks right into your car. You don't want that. So we're cleansing the surface. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this door has been clay barred. Believe it or not, it still has some contaminants in it that the bright light will show. It's amazing. You take the light away and you don't see anything. But you can see all the swirl marks. They're in there pretty bad. Bad enough that when you're taking your clean rag over the top, it's actually capturing some of the fibers and it's holding onto them. You can kind of see some of that there. So when we polish this so that it's flat and smooth, that won't happen anymore. But yeah, you can see all the fibers are stuck to the, yeah, I got to get those off before I start polishing. As long as you've got a good rag, having those fibers aren't going to be horrible, but it's still a good idea to get as much of the surface contamination off as possible. Another thing you want to do is look at your instructions, but it's going to likely tell you to shake this bottle. I would anyway, because usually rubbing compounds have some sort of an adjutant in it, like really fine grains of sand, and that is what helps polish. So you're going to want to shake it up so that that is evenly distributed throughout the bottle. Okay? Here's another tip. Put your compound on the pad. Do not squirt it onto the car. If you do and your pad is running, you're going to shoot compound all over the car. So then what I do is take the pad, put it flat on the surface, and just kind of move it around. Just move it around, okay? And then you can start the machine, okay? And you'll have less byproduct getting thrown off the car that you have to clean later. And yeah, I apologize. We're real people. This is a regular garage. That's the bumper off of the R8 that's currently being worked on. So anyway, it's a new garage for us. We just moved. So I'm trying to work within the space I've got. So hold your judgment. Okay, here we are back with That Car Life. We are at the end, or reaching the end of the door on this Q8. And you can see by the reflection of the sun how sparkly it is. And if we keep going, you'll see how crappy the rest of it is. Okay, that was a couple of hours total polishing. And there's still, it's not perfect. I'm not looking for perfection. This is a daily driver. But there's no reason why you can't have a really nice, finish with a cut and polish with just a little elbow grease. It's just a little effort. Now the hood has already been done and ceramic coated, and you can see the reflection is pretty impressive. There's still some swirl marks in there, but like I said, I'm not gonna sit here. Besides, you run the risk of polishing through the clear coat if you sit there for days, because this car is a daily driver, so it's taken some abuse. Anyway, we haven't ceramic coated the door yet. Got it out here in the sun looking for swirl marks, and I'm okay with it the way that it is. So what I'm going to do is pull it back in the garage. By the way, all that is residue that is slung onto the window from the compound, and that just wipes right off. So, but I'm doing one panel at a time, so I'll ceramic coat this, clean that up, start there. This will get messy again, but that's okay because it'll then be coated and you'll just be able to wipe the stuff off. So that's kind of where we're at for right now. And I'll show you the process for doing the actual ceramic coating. But look at the swirl marks, and this car is so bad. All right, folks, back in the garage. I got my Adams Prep Cleaner, Surface Prep. Like I said, I think it's isopropyl alcohol and water mixed. I'm gonna spray this on the car liberally and wipe down the whole panel before I put the Adams Graphene ceramic coating on, okay? So when I say liberal, that's pretty liberal. And then you're gonna wipe it off just like you're cleaning glass, okay? That's the process. Make sure you don't see any streaks, and then you can coat it. Okay, another thing that they give you here at Adams is this humongous black light. I want you to see something. The door hasn't been coated yet. The fender has. You can see the UV reflecting out of the ceramic coating. You can even see where I overlapped the door just a hair. This allows you, when you apply the ceramic, you'll be able to see as a guide what got good coverage and what didn't. So we'll go back over this after this has been coated and see if we see any spots that we missed. And on the fender, we did not. So I'll show you how we do this here in a minute. Okay, I set my little applicator on top of a wasted polishing pad just to keep the applicator from falling onto the ground. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put that on the applicator, set that down. They recommend putting the cap back on in between, but all we're gonna do here is work in sections. Now you're going to go back this way. Okay, now that is going to kick off. You'll leave it on there for 30 seconds up to a minute, depending on how hot and dry it is, if it's super humid. And then you're going to take a cloth like this one. They supply you with some microfiber ones in the kit that are much thinner and are probably better for this application, but you're going to want to let it sit. I'm not getting in the right light here, but what it normally will do is it kind of has a rainbow effect, and that rainbow effect is a way to tell you that it's ready to come off. But that didn't happen in this case. But I think we're pretty good. I'm gonna, for the purposes of video, this is very light pressure, okay? And you're just kind of gonna lightly, very lightly buff this off, okay? Now, where that guide comes in handy is it's going to show me where I need to start the next section. So watch this. See that? Isn't that cool? All right, so we're coated there. Now I just need to do the next section. You just keep repeating that until the panel's complete. You can do more ceramic if you feel comfortable, but you don't want to get too far because you don't want the ceramic to dry out where you're at, because then you might have trouble getting it off. So just do a section at a time. It'll come. Okay. There we go with the lightsaber. We're checking. You see how we overdid the panel? That's fine because we're going to do that door next. What we're looking for is dark spots. Dark spots. There's kind of a There's a little dark spot right there. You see that? I missed it. And there's a little dark crease right there. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pad, our graphene, we're gonna hit this spot here, and then we're gonna hit this area here that we know we had a streak. So we're gonna go up and down, side to side. Okay, we're gonna let that cure. Well, we can see we hit the dry spot. And we hit it again here. So we're just gonna wipe that off. It should be good to go. We whipped it off. We're just gonna double check. Looks like we have adequate coverage now there. We still got a tiny streak, but that's not gonna show up in the daylight. You can't even barely see it under the UV. So we've got nice even coverage on this door, ladies and gentlemen. Do it yourself ceramic coating. Don't be scared. Although you don't want to be putting that super expensive ceramic stuff on here that if you get it on there and you get distracted, you're going to need to wet sand it to get it off. Get with the consumer grade stuff. This Adams Polishes works fantastic. I used it on my wheels. I was so impressed that I decided to do this car because all I have to do is pressure wash the wheels and I don't even have to wipe them down. It's shocking because I used the premium competitor on my old set of wheels and I had them professionally done and it sucked. I mean, it sucked. I would do the wheels and then I would have to do them again. So I hated it. So I'm just doing a little spot that I saw had a little bit of dark in it. So we're gonna take this back out in the sun, see what this baby looks like now. Here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you can really tell the difference with the ceramic coating on there. It looks a little deeper, and of course the sun went behind a cloud again. It looks like a little bit deeper shine, but one thing that it does is it almost looks like it changes the color of the paint just a little bit. So you probably can't see it now, but you could definitely see it in the garage. But anyway, it seems to enhance it, but that's really not what I'm after. I don't care about that. I'm into the idea that I can spray foam the car, pressure wash it, and all I got to do is blow dry it or use a rag to dry it. One of the other tips that I have for you here, granted, again, we just moved in, so I'm still situating stuff. I've got a pressure washer here, gas pressure washer, that I have hooked up to an Adams portable water deionizer, and that allows me to spot-free rinse the car. I don't know how many washes I'll get out of it, but so far it's been a game changer because obviously that thing is dark blue and our convertible R8, the Spider, that's black, and it shows everything. So I invested into that. I'm not gonna lie, that was like $400, so it wasn't cheap. But you know, with the R8, and you can't take that to a car wash. I've done it. It's not a good idea. Don't do that. Wash your babies yourself. If you've got a truck like mine, okay, fine, so be it. Take it to a car wash. But even on this car, if you want to trust it to a car wash, that's up to you. But the detergents are gonna peel away your ceramic coating. Again, I'm not trying to do this to preserve the paint. I'm sure it probably does do that to some extent. I'm trying to make it easier to keep it clean. This may have been mentioned, I know it was mentioned in previous videos, but my wife works for Audi Club of America, or Audi Club North America. So it's it's kind of imperative that she has a car that's not embarrassing within the Audi brand. So we wanted to basically bring this thing back to life. And we've got lots of different mods we want to do to this thing just to make it unique to her, but she really wanted this color. Navarro blue is such a beautiful, beautiful color. It's probably one of the best. If you've seen an R8 in this color, which is really rare, we have a couple friends that have them. Oh man, that's a pretty color on that car. All right, everybody. All right, kids, welcome back to That Car Life. Here we are. This is about, I think I've got about 20, probably around 20 hours or so into the cut and polish. You know, it still looks dirty in certain spots. Haven't gotten all that finished yet, but when you go a couple panels at a time, that's what happens. But look at how vibrant that color is. Is that amazing or what? That is unbelievable, the transformation in this car. It looks brand new. I don't even want to even speculate on how much we actually increased the value on this vehicle just by getting it polished nice. So anyway, in the upcoming videos, I'm going to show you guys what this thing will look like when you wash it. I want to see how easy it is to clean. I want to see how quickly you can wash it with just basic wash tools, and show you guys you know, how it holds up over time. Give you like a long-term you know, idea of what this Adams graphene ceramic coating can hold up. You see, let's see how long it can hold up and how well it does. So stay tuned. That stuff will be coming up soon.